Order present. So I'd like to start with our first item on the agenda, which is our COVID-19 update and discussion. So, Marty, what good, bad news you got for us?
Mostly bad. Unfortunately, our numbers are trending like pretty much everywhere else, slightly upward. We have 5 active cases in Abington right now, 251 total, 246 who are no longer being followed in some extent or the other. And I just want to include, like, when we have 5 active cases, that doesn't included in that count is not the 40 or so contacts that we have to trace from just those 5 active cases. I mean, that deserves to be mentioned. And I'm worried that we're not making some good decisions in town. I got some phone calls about questions about graduation parties and a lot of things, a lot of events happening around town. And the answer is, please don't have parties. They are known to be super spreader events. Please don't do that. And I've also had a lot more calls this week, just being Monday, of people not wearing masks and businesses not wearing masks as patrons of businesses. In one instance where a woman was made to feel very uncomfortable as she's on supplemental oxygen by a man who didn't want to wear a mask in one of our establishments. Please don't do that. Please just wear a mask. It's the only thing that we know that prevents the spread of COVID-19 and a lot of other respiratory illnesses. So again, I know I've said this, I don't even know how many times at this point. Please wear a mask when you're out in public, especially indoors, in any space you can't socially distance outside. Please wear a mask. Other than that, standard things. A few new rules last week and since our last meeting. Order number 45, which we're going to talk about a little later on. A lot of the other gatherings. I'm sure you're all aware that Abington has their scheduled graduation ceremony under the graduation guidance set out by DESE and the school's plan. I've reviewed it. It is in compliance with all of the other rules, as long as we are smart and our families are smart in Abington, that they limit the contact of people who go there. Please wear your mask. Please don't have any big celebrations. I know it's a once in a lifetime thing that you have to give up, but I mean, it could help somebody's lifetime continue. So please do the right thing and make smart decisions. Other than that, there's really not much else.
I wanted to discuss, while we get everybody here, and Marty, I think you touched on this, is the mask enforcement. So I know for the most part, since we placed the order, which was ahead of the state order, we've had fairly good compliance and cooperations from our businesses in town. And we do have a fine in place for non-compliance, correct?
We do. The board issued a $100 per occurrence to the business for each occurrence of non-compliance with the mask. It's out there. It's a usable, enforceable stipulation in the guidance, in the regulation.
So I have also heard complaints from a number of people about either employees not wearing masks or customers. So maybe we just need to get it on the record for the public to hear that we will be enforcing masks. Yeah. Whether that means we are working off of reports or we got to send our people out. This has to happen. People need to everybody's sick of it. It's been going on a long time, but the virus is not going away. So I think there's been, at least from what I'm hearing, an uptick in complaints about non-compliance. So
yeah, I've received several.
So be warned. Anybody have any other discussion points on COVID-19 update? So we'll move on to our next item on the agenda.
Oh, good. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Contact tracing for any new is 99% done in-house for COVID-19. It'll be very unlikely that you get a call from the contact tracing collaborative. I wanted to bring that up. So we are trying to keep it all. If you get a phone call for a contact trace, it will be from my office, from the Board of Health Department's phone number in town. It should say that on your caller ID. So and we're trying to keep as much of it in-house. So so I guess it's mostly for Abington residents to be more comfortable answering the phone. And so it's me or it's Lindsay, our public health nurse. So it's, so if you want to throw rocks at somebody for doing contact tracing, hello, I'm the rock guy, throw them at me. And so it's not some, amorphous state entity. It's in-house now and we'll keep it in-house until we get, 100 or so cases. And I just can't simply keep up with the workload. Sorry about that. I forgot. I wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Okay. And you did remind me too on mentioning mask enforcement, just to illustrate the seriousness that to people. Peaceful Meadows over in Whitman is still closed, and that was 2 employees testing. So we're trying to protect businesses as well by getting people to comply with masks and stop the spread. We don't want to have to be seeing places closed because of clusters and whatnot. So, all right.
For sure.
Next point on our agenda was also COVID related, the new travel ban and quarantine discussion.
So let me talk about this real quick, just kind of give everybody a brief overview. So basically what it is if you, as of August 1st, as of this past weekend, if you leave Massachusetts or you're coming back from somewhere outside of Massachusetts and it's past midnight on August 1st, your mandatory requirement is to quarantine in your place of residence for 14 days. And there's a form you're supposed to fill out. And DPH is actually the one tracking that, and they will contact us if they need tracking or enforcing that. There are some stipulations and some exemptions. If you can have a negative test within 3 days of your arrival back in Massachusetts from one of those states, and it's primarily not New England and upstate New York, anywhere outside of that, and Hawaii. If you know Aloha, you have to quarantine. Yeah. Provide a negative test result within 2 to 3 days of your arrival. 72 hours is what it says. And obviously there's some other exemptions for people coming here for medical treatment, military service, critical infrastructure, things like that. And those will all be addressed on the form itself. And it's 14 days, period. And that means no trips to the grocery, if it's distance, contact the state or contact us and we can try to work that out and help you as best you can. But it's COVID order number 45.
And there is a $500 per day fine for noncompliance?
Per day fine, that's right. May result in a separate $500 civil fine.
So one of the questions that was addressed to the board through Facebook was the governor's guidance is that both DPH and local Board of Health will be in charge of enforcing this. Do we have an infrastructure for that, of reporting or enforcing?
I mean, the short answer is maybe, depending upon how many people there are. And the order under number 5, it specifically states that DPH shall enforce this order, and if necessary, with the assistance of state or municipal police or any other agency. And local boards or its agent authorized pursuant shall be authorized to enforce when requested by DPH to provide assistance. Excellent. So they're supposed to notify us when someone is in town, has had to quarantine or is supposed to quarantine. And then if they think that they are a non-compliant quarantiner, they have to notify us for assistance with enforcement of said quarantine. Quarantiner. I don't think that's it. Quarantinee?
Quarantinee. So if a resident of Abington has a concern that a neighbor or family member who's supposed to be quarantining is not, they should contact DPH?
I mean, honestly, the easiest way to do it is going to be to contact me, and then we'll figure out contacting DPH. Let's just be honest. I will probably have way better results contacting DPH than a neighbor. So, I mean, I don't mind doing the heavy lifting because, somebody's got to do it, and it's probably easier if it's me. But I know there is a mechanism to do that. If you go on the website, there's a reporting, quarantine breaking form, contact for DPH. But if you have difficulty with that, let me know and I can do it for you.
Excellent. And for the record, anyone that's listening, if you don't know, the number for the health department is 781-982-2119.
That's it.
That's the office. Looks like we lost. Oh, Alex is back. Just make sure I can see him before we move on. Did anybody have any questions or discussion on the travel ban before we move on? Yeah, okay. Last item on our agenda, and I added this because of numerous complaints from residents around town. Republic Services trash and recycle delays. So apparently this is an ongoing issue, including
I didn't get that.
yeah, I heard words, but you're breaking up, Alex.
Let me tell you what I brought this up with Republic's their municipal services manager, and we had a long talk on the phone today. Not that I'm defending them, because I think they've done very poorly.
Oh, no, I'm not doing anything.
They said that a lot of, I say 90% of the issues were strictly from recycling. I mean, there's always going to be a sprinkling of trash pickup problems, but 90% of it was recycling pickup. Few of the factors that have contributed to that are the newer drivers, and they lost their local supervisor. And today, the municipal manager, service manager, told me that he's confident that this will improve as the learning curve improves for the new driver that he has on there. It sounds like he's trying. It sounds like the delay.
What was that?
Yeah, so I guess at the end of the day, no one is more disappointed in Republic Service than me, because I'm the one that has to field all the phone calls for it. And I mean, yeah, it's been poor. It's been poor for the past month. I mean, they make about 6,000 to 7,000 touches in town a week. So I mean, we're not in a zero defect mentality, right? There's going to be some problems, but like this has just been really, really bad. And they need to understand that this is the last year of the contract with them, and we can solicit bids from all of the other contracts around. And I know for a fact a lot of other companies would be eager to get in here and start picking up. So not lost on me that this has been really poor. And it couldn't come at a worse time.
Yeah. And just for clarification, because I know I've had this conversation with people, if your trash or recycling doesn't get picked up, leave your barrels out.
Yep.
99% of the time, it's going to be picked up the next day.
Yep.
My suggestion to people has been just leave it out. If it's not picked up the next day, that's when you pick up the phone and you call our office and let us know. But I think we're getting pretty used to at this point there being at least a 1-day delay, mostly with recycling.
Yeah. And remember, I live in town, so it happens to me a lot too. And also all this time, so there's contract stipulations for fines. If I have to contact them twice for the same address, I fine them. Anytime your lid is damaged by the truck as it's empty, we fine them for the lids to pay for the lids. So we've given them, I don't have the number off the top of my head, I'm sorry, but we've given them quite a few fines over the past month.
Marty, question for you. When we do have these complaints about trash pickups, is there like a customer service agreement where they'll go out to that address and take care of that right away? Or do those residents have to wait for the next cycle, like the next week?
No, they're supposed to get it the day that they call me. So
Okay.
if Mondays was missed and you call me Tuesday, they're supposed to get it Tuesday. If they don't, I fine them and they have to get it Wednesday. And then it's compounding. Like if you go from Monday to Monday, that's 6 days of fines.
Mhm.
But they're supposed to get it that week, so you don't have to wait till your next pickup to get your trash barrels emptied.
And for our residents, I can't stress this enough because I see this constantly. Almost every member of this board is on Facebook, and we have a Facebook presence for the board, and we try to be responsive because our board members care about our town. But if you are complaining on Facebook, you are not making an official complaint, and we can't do anything with that. So if you are having problems, please call, email, let the office know so that we can then turn that information over to Republic and have it be actionable. But complaining in public forums, will not get you resolution and help us build a case here. So please.
I'm not on
use the
Facebook.
channels.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
The other thing is we don't handle bulky item pickup in the office. So bulky item pickup goes through Republic and Republic only. I mean, if it's been out there for a week, I can do the best I can to help you get resolution, but we don't handle bulky item
Thank
pickup
you.
Yeah. Call the Republic number.
unless it's been a ridiculous amount of time, and I will let you figure out what each person figure out what that number is. But
And Republic does not remove boats, correct? That's...
no, owners of boats do though.
All right. Any questions or comments on trash delay?
Nope.
All right. That's all I have on the agenda. So
Can I mention something that just came out today at 5:50?
Oh, Marty, I just want to say thank you to sending out the trucks to the locations that.
My pleasure, Alex. I think he was talking about resending the trucks back.
yeah.
So just today at 5:59, right before we went live,
Oh, thank you.
triple E mosquito warnings went up in a lot of the neighboring.
Yeah, no, thank you, Marty. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. Eastern equine encephalitis. Last year, lots of people had it, and a few people succumbed to it. 12 cases in 2019, 6 deaths. Don't forget. A lot of our neighboring communities, their levels went up to moderate. So I know this is going to sound weird, but you can get triple E and COVID-19 at the same time. So please take precautions and wear bug spray when you're out and during the mosquito hours.
Lovely.
Sorry, I wanted to throw that out there because, you know, we are having a graduation and people are getting together, even though I beg them not to. But if you're going to be
I
outside,
know where I'm putting it.
I'm not laughing.
All righty, Alex.
Laughing with you. All right. If we don't have anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh, this is great.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Awesome. Do I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All right.
I
Before we close, I'd just like to say to our residents to please keep an eye on your weather reports for tomorrow. We are going to have tropical storm conditions, so keep an eye on what's going on and be safe. And with that, we are adjourned.